What is up, guys? I'm ExxotikGaming, and today I am back with yet again another Pixel Gun 3D weapon review. Seems like we're doing a lot of them these days. But for today's video, I'll be reviewing a weapon just as cool as the rest of them. A new weapon released in the 11.1.1 Halloween update of 2016. Today's review will be on the Napalm Cannon, which just sounds really powerful. But we cannot judge a book by its cover, and we have to get more in-depth with this review before we can make a final determination on whether or not it is as amazing as it seems. With that being said, make sure to leave a like if you find this video helpful, and comment down below which item you'd like me to review next from the gear section. Good? Alright, now let's get right into this review. Going into the armory section and looking at the special section from where this weapon is located, we can see that this weapon has an efficiency of 22, which does put it in the upper end in terms of efficiency for special weapons in Pixel Gun 3D. This weapon has a grade of rare, so it is a little bit more common than some of the other weapons in Pixel Gun 3D, although I don't really see too many players using this weapon. This weapon is a single-shot weapon with area damage and the burning effect, and it also has a looping shot. So there's a lot of special unique abilities about this weapon which make it very different and very unique from most of the other special weapons in Pixel Gun 3D. It has a 72 firing rate, a 5 capacity, and a 100 mobility. Now, the firing rate isn't the best in the world, but you can do with that firing rate. You can get kills, and that is the most important part. So what we are going to do is go into a close range map because, as you guys recall, I just said earlier, this weapon has the looping effect. And the looping effect is the effect that weapons like the Firestorm and the Cherry Bomb have, where if you fire directly down the hallway of Silent School, if you were to use a weapon like the Big Buddy, it would go all the way to the end of the hallway. But with this weapon, it does not do that. It will end up hitting the ground before you have a chance to do so. As you guys can see right there, that was a perfect example. If I was to go aim down this hallway right here, I wouldn't make it. It would hit the ground before it actually killed some enemy player. So, as you guys will see here, you do end up getting that pretty cool burning effect when you do kill somebody with this weapon. And with that burning effect ability in mind, I do have to say this. If you guys remember in my Toxic Bane review, which had a very similar special ability to this, it had the Toxic ability, which is very similar to the burning ability, where if somebody does get in the toxic area, they will end up slowly losing health. If you use this weapon, you will find that you will get an excessive amount of killing assists when using this weapon, because a lot of the time you'll end up hitting somebody and that person may end up dying from your burning effect, but a lot of the time they won't, and the other person who is next to the enemy player, just like you, may end up getting the kill before you get them. So as you guys will see in this video, I'll probably get a majority of killing assists rather than actual kills when using this weapon, but I will be getting some kills, and like I've said before numerous times, that is the most important part. I wouldn't be saying very many nice things about this weapon if you could get 0 kills with this, and you can't. I just got 2 kills right there. Not the most amount of kills in the world, but I still was able to get kills, and that is pretty cool. So, like I said, this weapon is one of the more powerful weapons in the special section, but having all of these special abilities, it does prove to be a little bit difficult when using. It actually is one of the more difficult special weapons to use in Pixel Gun 3D if you're actually planning on getting a lot of kills when using this. You'll find that a lot of people who have other area damage special type weapons and premium type weapons may end up having the upper hand because they will not have to worry about that looping shot, they will not have to worry about several other special abilities, and because of that, they may end up getting many more kills than you will when using this weapon. Although you can counteract that after a lot of practice when using this weapon. After you start using this weapon a while, you'll start to learn how the looping effect works, and you'll be able to get better and better as time progresses. As you guys could see right there, I actually killed somebody with that burning effect, so that's always cool. Say you do kill somebody with the burning effect, or you don't kill them, you hit somebody and they are burning, and then you end up dying. Well, what you can do is you can actually die, and then eventually that player will end up slowly dying from that burning effect that you have, as long as somebody else doesn't kill them before your burning effect kills you. So it's a pretty cool special ability. I really do think it's one of the better abilities out of the weapons in Pixel Gun 3D. I mean, I've seen lots of new weapons and lots of old weapons have this special ability, and they usually are in some of the more powerful weapons out there in Pixel Gun 3D. You don't really see that many super underpowered weapons have this burning ability, and the ones that do have that burning ability ability are always very, very powerful weapons. They're very good and they do a lot of damage. Now this weapon is around a 2-shot kill, sometimes a 1-shot kill if you maybe are killing somebody that has a little bit of health damage already dealt to them, to a max armored player. Generally it's going to be a 2-shot kill to a max armored player. So it's not the best in the world in terms of that. It probably would be better if it was a 1-shot kill because it has that relatively slow firing rates and looping effect, but as long as, like I've said in the Dracula review earlier just yesterday, as long as you are relatively accurate when using this weapon and you can make a majority of your shots hit the enemy player, then you can be sure that you will get a pretty decent amount of kills when using this weapon. However, if you do miss a lot of your shots, and a lot of the times you're not going to actually land those little looping shots on an enemy player, especially at range, you will find that the people who have those weapons that are the 1-shot kill area damage weapons will end up having the upper hand. So it really is a trade-off situation. I mean, if you use this weapon, you will end up getting better with a lot of the other looping type weapons in Pixel Gun 3D. I don't remember the exact price of this weapon, but if this weapon is a lot cheaper than some of the other looping type weapons of Pixel Gun 3D, like maybe the Firestorm, or if we can just go into the armory right here, we can go through some of the other ones that have the looping effect. The Bastion is one that has a looping effect, the Pumpkin Thrower has a looping effect, the Toy Bomber, I believe, has a looping effect, and quite a few other weapons do have that looping effect. So if you wanted to use this weapon and it was a much lower cost than those other weapons in Pixel Gun 3D, I would suggest getting this one and trying this weapon out and seeing if you really do like using the looping effect before you go all out and getting a very expensive weapon like the Toy Bomber or something like that. So yeah, that's just my suggestion. I mean, if you really are somebody who just wants to use this weapon in general, go right ahead and get this thing because, like I said, it's really unique and it's actually quite complicated to use. So, I mean, this one is a real challenge. You're not going to become the best player in the world the second you start using this weapon. Over time, you will end up getting better and better, though. The stats will improve, and that is the most important part when using this weapon. You will end up getting better as time progresses. It's not like some of those other weapons in Pixel Gun 3D where you'll be good the second you start in matches, and you'll never end up getting better. Over time, when you start using this weapon quite a decent amount of time, you will end up finding that your skill level when using this, and pretty much any looping weapon in general, will get better and better and better. To the point where eventually, when you use this weapon, almost all of your shots will hit enemy players, you won't miss too many all that much, and you'll actually get some really good gameplay when using this weapon. Because I can confidently say, if you are somebody who can land all of your shots on an enemy player, you are accurate consistently every single time you go into a match, and you don't miss too many of your shots, you'll find that you'll actually get some pretty decent gameplay with this weapon. If I was to compare this weapon and the Dracula, the two actual weapons that came in this most recent update, I'm not regarding the Sword of Shadows as that's just a melee weapon, I'd have to say this is the better option out of the two. So if you're looking at this 11.1.1 Halloween update and you're deciding which weapon you should get, then this obviously is the better choice out of the two. This one is a lot more powerful, and it has the area damage, it has the burning effect, and there's really not much that this weapon has that really is not as great with the Dracula. So I like it. It's a really good weapon. Like I've said with the Dracula review, this isn't really my most favorite weapon in the world. I do personally prefer a lot of other looping effect weapons more so than this one. If I was to just name a couple that I like more than this one, I'd probably say that I like the Toy Bomber more, and I like the Pumpkin Thrower more. Probably the Pumpkin Thrower the most. That is one of my more favorite ones out there with the looping effect in Pixel Gun 3D, and arguably the Cherry Bomb the absolute most. I love the Cherry Bomb, and I'd have to say I like that one more than this one. But it still is a good weapon, and I mean, hey, if you're somebody who's looking purely off of stats, not really all about which one looks cooler or which one is just overall better, I mean, this one is a pretty good option, and you might want to consider getting this. Now, is it a necessity? Is it something you need to have? No, you don't need to have this weapon. You can do perfectly fine without using this weapon, because if we truthfully compared this one with other looping shot weapons like the Bastion or the Toy Bomber or something like this one doesn't really compare to those weapons, especially in maps like Silent School. If you were to use this burning effect in a medium range map, however, it might work out a little bit better than some of those other weapons, because if you are in medium range, you are much less likely to die from an enemy player, and because of that, you are going to stay alive a lot longer, the other players are going to stay alive a lot longer, and the burning effect will work to its maximum potential. You're not going to be able to use this at long range or even medium to long range, because since it does have that looping effect, it will be very difficult to judge how you properly properly angle your weapon when you want to actually hit an enemy player. So there's a lot of mathematics involved when using this weapon. It's not just about as long as the person is within your crosshair, you're good, because that's not the case with this weapon. You have to aim upwards, and you have to just hope that you're aiming in the proper direction, and maybe you'll hit the enemy players if you do that. A lot of the times you won't, and you might have been able to kill them if you used a different looping shot weapon, like the Bastion, if you didn't use this one. So, I mean, it's definitely a very difficult weapon to use, and you do end up getting some pretty cool looking kills when it's all said and done when using this weapon. So, like I said, is it a necessary weapon? No. You can do perfectly fine without this weapon, but is it a cool weapon? Yeah, I'd say it's a pretty cool weapon, and you do get some pretty decent gameplay with this weapon. You're not going to win matches all the time, because in Silent School, you're pretty much set if you use the Ghost Lantern, so obviously, if you're going up against somebody who has the Ghost Lantern, you're probably not going to beat them, but if you can manage to find a match where they don't always have the Ghost Lantern or the Trapper, and you manage to find a match that I'm in right here where there's not everybody using the same weapons that are all extremely overpowered, you might actually get some pretty decent gameplay when using this weapon. All the people in this match aren't using the Ghost Lantern. There are a lot of Ghost Lanterns, but not every single person is using the Ghost Lantern. There's somebody with the Acid Cannon, there's somebody with the Photon Shotgun, and if you have a wide variety of different weapons that aren't all one-shot kill weapons, and you go up against those enemy players when using this weapon, you'll find that it's a pretty decent weapon, and you'll get some really good gameplay when using it. So, yeah guys, I don't really have much else I need to say about this Napalm Cannon. It's a pretty cool weapon, and I do like that burning ability. If I was to go rate this weapon on a scale from 1 to 10, I rated the Dracula a 6. After you use that weapon for a while, it probably would be about a 6, and I rate this one about a 7, because it is better than the Dracula, but it still isn't in the terms of like an 8 or a 9, where I would rate something like the Bastion an 8 or a 9. So it's a pretty decent weapon. In all overall, it's something that I like, and I don't know if I'd be using this weapon all that much off camera, but it still is a weapon with pretty decent stats. So yeah guys, I really hope you guys did enjoy this review. If you guys did, make sure to smack that like button. Let's do a little challenge, okay? I like doing the challenges. If you can hit the like button with, I'd say your tongue, but that's a little unsanitary. So if you can hit the like button with your ear, then you get a little special prize. I don't know. Just let me know down below in the comments if you can do that. And make sure to comment down below which item you'd like me to review next, like I said at the beginning of the video. I can do the pet little, I don't think it's called the pet dragon, the dragon whistle. I could review that one next. I could review the Pandora box next. I could review whatever you guys want to see next in the next video, because it's all up to you. There are a ton of different items, and if you don't really know which ones are in the game, then just go look at my new update review that I did about a week ago, and then you can see all the items that are in this update. You can see their special stats, and you can see which one you really want me to do a full review on. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure to go check out my other weapon reviews that I have done on my channel. I'll go link my Dracula review down below in the description. I've talked about it quite a bit in this video, so if you guys want to see that review and you can compare this weapon and the Dracula, both weapons released in this most recent update, then you guys can go check that out. If you guys want to go check out my Sword of Shadows review, then definitely go check that one out. I'll have it linked down below in the description. I'll just have the 2 weapons from this update linked down below in the description so you guys can go check it out. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching, and let's go get a couple more kills. I'm gonna go get this guy right here. Let's go get him, or attempt to get him, or maybe somebody else is going to kill me. I'm gonna get this guy, Killer Clown. Or maybe not. He's spamming the Ghost Lantern, so that's going to be a little bit difficult. If I can manage to get somebody who doesn't have the Ghost Lantern, I might be able to take them out. Here's somebody with the Photon Shotgun. That should be a kill. If I probably can get the Photon Shotgun kill. That should be a kill. Immortal, as long as he doesn't kill me with his little grenade. There we go. I got a kill on him. And maybe one last kill. Just one last kill, and I will be able to end this video. So let's go. Was that a kill assist? I don't even know. Like I told you guys, you get a lot of kill assists when using this weapon, much more so than just regular kills. So there we go. So yeah, one last kill. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode.